Hey everyone, this video is a long time due. I played Murky Divers a long time ago and I was meant to do a review on it. It was part of what I said I would do when the game company gave me the game for free, and I actually do apologise. I never got around to it. Unfortunately, that video didn't do very well. I still want to do a review on the game because the game was interesting. And it had a lot of pros and unfortunately had a lot of cons that I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to talk about them here because I just want to get this video done. The game is kind of a Lethal Company extraction game with a few twists, and I use Lethal Company as a basis for a lot of these. It definitely was Lethal Company inspired, and Lethal Company is such an iconic game. I like to use that as kind of a, when I say Lethal Company, people already know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get straight into it because there's no point beating around the bush here, but first off was the gameplay. So I'm going to talk about a bit about it. The gameplay is you are a criminal organization, from what I've gathered, and you work for a company that has done some shady stuff in the past. You are sent out on missions to collect debris and items and body parts and stuff, and basically destroy them so the police can't find them. Yeah, it's an interesting take on it because you're not the good guys for once. You are definitely the bad guys. Now, in your eyes, the police are the bad guys. From a story point, you are the bad people. You're destroying and incriminating evidence for a company that has done some shady fucking stuff. So the whole premise of the game is you go into these kind of abandoned underwater structures and you collect items, collect body part, equipment, and bring it back to your ship to either keep them for use next time or to destroy them. And you gain credits. The company pays you for it. All while your wanted level increases and the police try and stop you. Now, it's not really the police that are the biggest enemy here. It is mainly just the enemies that are in the structures. The police will come after you, obviously, if your wanted level gets too high, and there's ways to drop the wanted level. I know that. I didn't actually play enough to find out how to, but I know there is a way. And that's the premise of the game, basically. It is exactly like Little Company. You go in, collect scrap, you bring it back, you get paid for it. So that's the basis of the gameplay. The gameplay here, it's a really, really cool idea. I won't lie, it is incredibly cool. They've done a good job. The idea that you're not the good guys and you're kind of working for a criminal organization is really cool to me. I don't think it was done properly though. And I'm going to move on now to my next topic, which is how it actually performs. It doesn't perform as well as you think. And I'm going to be honest, and I've been given the game and I've been asked to give a positive opinion. And I don't know now, it's been months ago since they gave me the game, so if they want to take that back, I don't care. But I was asked to give my honest opinion, and it doesn't work very well in practice. I don't know if it's the game development that is the problem with it, or it's just that there's a lack of content. In a way, it suffers from the same thing Lethal Company does. It's way too repetitive, and there isn't enough content in this earlier version of the game. I know that the game's probably been updated since I've played it, but there isn't enough content. We were going into these places and we just find the same 6 items. Now I know that there's more items as you go down into the harder areas we didn't get to, but it was at the start of the game where you're really trying to keep player attention, and we got bored incredibly fast. I think it was after about an hour and 20 minutes I had said, like, look, I need to give this a break, and we actually didn't return to it in the end. I have a sliver of footage here from one of our missions, which is the only footage I have because I actually had uploaded the video and deleted the footage. Whatever I'm talking about right now is not going to be on the screen, unfortunately, but you'll see it throughout this entire video. So yeah, it was, in practice, it was a bit boring. The mobs were quite cool, but we only encountered about 4 of them. I'm basing it off what I played, and the game didn't beg for my retention, if you get me. Maybe it just wasn't my jam, really, to be honest, and other people might really, really like it, but that was how I found it. So the pros here. So I have a list of pros and I have a list of cons. The pros that they've done really well here are the whole verticality. So obviously you're underwater, so it is all like zero gravity kind of. Obviously it's not because it's water, but you have that element of verticality to it. It suits the game really, really well because you're kind of going through underground sewers and stuff like that, and it really, really works here well. It was a great choice to have this underwater. Another pro that I can think of was probably the equipment and how unique it all was. All the equipment was quite unique. Like, I know that we at one point got a item that helps you find wreckage and stuff via a little firefly that kind of sits on top of your screen. I thought that was quite cool. It was kind of, there was the uniqueness of the game. They really just said, fuck it, we'll just, put this out here. It doesn't make much sense, but it's funny and it's unique and it's never been done in a game before, and that is definitely one of the bigger pros of this. Unfortunately, there wasn't much else that stood out to me, and that's why I'm gonna have to move on to the cons. And there's 3 main cons, and the first con is the lack of areas. We did maybe about 7 dives, and in them 7 dives we explored about 3 different places, and I don't know if the places change the further you go down, but it got really boring Now, it's all randomly generated to an extent, but it is just the same copy-pasted sewers and rooms and stuff like that. There's no variation to it. And within my first hour, if I played the last 10 minutes, it was no different from my first 10 minutes. Nothing had changed. And in a game where you're trying to like, you immediately get into a game and a player wants to explore everything, that's not going to work. It's really not. Another con was the mobs. The mobs in this game seem to be just stupidly docile and harmless, or fucking ridiculously strong. So we were coming across enemies that when we went into a room, they barely could fucking hit us. And we went into another room and we just nearly got fucking wiped. And there was no kind of middle between them. And it was just a stupidly overpowered mob with no warning in the middle of a bunch of the rest of the half an hour's play of just docile mobs. It really fucking annoyed me because we had stuff on us as well. And just to get wiped by that. I don't know if that's going to work in a game where you're trying to not have people get pissed off. And the final con that stuck out to me a lot was probably the lack of explanation. In the start of the game, where many games would tell you, here's what you do to upgrade your shit, here's what to do, we weren't told anything. We had to discover that you got your upgrade perks in the fucking shower. That's not a joke, go watch the thing. There was no explanation for any of this. You just had to fucking find it. And by the time we found it, we were so fed up with getting fucked around, we actually had no interest in it. I don't know if it should have been like maybe after your first delve or dive. I'm thinking of WoW now here with delves. After your first dive, they showed you a bit more about what to do. But they literally just throw you in. They don't even show you how to steer the ship or anything. We must have spent like nearly 5 minutes that I cut out trying to figure out how to start the fucking game. There was just no explanation for anything here. It really annoyed me because half of our time we were figuring out, what the fuck is this? How do we do this? When you're trying to get into a game, you're like, right, you want to sit down, you want to play it, but you're spending half your time trying to figure out what to do. It's not going to work. If anyone from the company hears me say that, do something about it. I genuinely think the audience retention for a game would do massively better. Maybe even a console, like a tablet that tells you what to do, similar to Zoocosis. Something like that would really fit into this game, and I think it would help it a lot. So yeah, overall, I usually give a ratings for these videos. Overall, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. And I've already explained all my reasons why. Like, overall, it's a great idea. I think it was just executed a tiny bit poorly and jumped towards making all these like 6 different levels and difficulties, but they haven't fleshed out the locations, the mobs, the difficulties, or explaining anything. I would say I'm right. They got a bit trigger happy and they jumped towards designing all this cool stuff. I think there was 5 different difficulties, like the further you went underground, but there was lack of a fucking difficulty system or a lack of explanation for anything. It felt strange that stuff like that was prioritized over the explanation of the first 10 minutes. It felt weird. But yeah, overall, I was very happy that they sent me the key. Thank you again to Embers. By far, this is not the worst game I've ever played. Do not worry, I gave it a 6 out of 10. That is not bad. You know, I've already stated what could do with improving and stuff, and I think even just watching gameplay a tiny bit, you'll see what I mean. I just wanted to make a quick little video and a review on it because I was meant to ages ago and I just never did, and time got lost on me and I left this footage in my library for ages. I have so many videos planned. I have plans made out for at least 15 other videos going forward. 8 of them I have recorded. I won't talk about them all here because I don't want to lengthen this video, but yeah, sorry again to Embers for waiting so long for a review, and thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.